Hello dear students, welcome to the online education of class 6 science. So dear students, in the previous class we were discussing about the types of motion. So under that we have discussed about three important types of motion. So there are three types. In that only two types of motion we have discussed, that is one is straight rectilinear motion, another one is that is circular motion. Okay, so the definition of rectilinear motion, definition of circular motion, and their examples that we have discussed. Okay, so now let us move on for the next type of motion. So here we have given the examples of circular motion, that is fan. Okay, even the hands of the clock. So if you mark any point on the anywhere on the blades of the fan, so or on the hands of the clock, so we'll come to know the distance of the blades of the fan to the set point, to this point, or the distance of the point from the center of the fan or from the hands of the clock will remain the same as they rotate. Okay, so this is showing the examples of what that is circular motion. So now let's go for the next type of motion, that is periodic motion. So how it is, let's see. So in some cases we see that the object repeats the motion after some time. Okay, even after some time the object repeats the motion. So this type of motion we call it as periodic motion. Okay, so there you can test it by using some examples. For example, so you just take a stone, just tie it with some string, so that we have already used in activity number 6 to check about the this one, circular motion. Okay, same stone you take and tie it with a string. Now hold the string in your hand, just hold the string in your hand and let the stone hang from it. Just allow the stone to hang from the string. So what happens here, the stone starts moving. Okay, let it hang, so allow the stone to move, so the stone starts moving. So at that time what happens, pull the stone to one side, just you pull the stone one side and just you release it. Okay, so with the other hand you leave it. Okay, let it go on the other side. Okay, now leave it. Okay, so this is the example of pendulum. Okay, this stone now acts as an example of pendulum. So something that, okay, have a lot of fun with something that will make us understand the periodic motion. So this is a very simple example to make us understand the periodic motion. Just tie any stone with a thread, just to move it one side and just you leave it, release it, so it starts moving, okay, to and fro. So such kind of motion is an example for periodic motion. See, even the branch of a branch of a tree moving to and fro motion, see, that is also examples for periodic motion. You might have seen, so the branch of the trees is moving, okay, to and fro motion, that is also example for periodic motion. Even motion of a child on a swing, see, suppose you all have played the swing. So in our school ground also we have a swing for LKG children we have established. So when you sit on it, so when somebody pushes you from the back, it's enough. The swing starts moving to and fro motion, it will start moving up, forward and backward. So even if you stop pulling also, pushing also, that swing keeps moving forward and backward. So this is what the examples for what, the periodic motion. Even the motion of the strings of the guitar, so they act as a periodic motion. Or the surface of the drums, tabla, which is being played, tabla as well as guitar, they also show the repeated motion. So these are all examples of repeated motion, where an object, sometimes what happens, whole object shows the repeated motion, sometimes the part of that object, it shows the motion. Okay, these are the examples for periodic motion. Look at the examples. Swing is there, so look at the picture A, that is swing, it is forward and backward direction, it is moving. The example B is hands of the clock, so that pendulum of the clock, not hands of the clock, it is example for circular motion. Whereas pendulum of the clock is repeated in equal intervals of time, that is the example for what, periodic motion. And third one is this one, guitar, the motion of the movement of the strings. And fourth one is the bell, so it keeps on ringing only. Okay, and eighth one is tabla. These are all examples for periodic motion. So already we have said in activity number 5, so the sieving machine also acts as a periodic motion. How it is, see how its part is acting as a periodic motion, just it is simple. So you have, what you can remember is, whenever you want to stitch something, what happens here, so its wheel move, okay, with a what, its wheel starts moving along with its needle. Okay, so its wheel starts moving with a circular motion. Wheel rotates in a circular motion. It's down, it will be there. So whenever you just push it, so the wheel is moving. Okay, so continuously. So what happens here, the motion of the wheel takes place. At the same time, it's a circular motion. At the same time, it will also have a needle in the upper portion of the machine, sieving machine. So it is moving upward and forward, upward and downward, upward and downward. So this is also kind of motion. So here you can understand, so what is happening here. So you can understand the periodic motion is going on in the tabla, what in that which one, the wheel. Okay, so you have reminded that the wheel is rotating, so that is circular motion, whereas the needle is what, repeated motion. Okay, so you have understood the repeated motion of the given examples. Okay, so even all, you might also observe the motion of a ball on the ground. So the motion of the ball is also on the ground, is also example for no, periodic motion as well as circular motion. How it is, see, so whenever you move a ball, the ball starts rolling in the ground. Okay, so rotating, moving on the rolling on the ground, as well as it is rotating around itself. Okay, so which is moving forward also on the ground. So thus the ball undergoes, what happens here, undergoes the rectilinear motion. See, ball is moving in a straight direction, hence it is a rectilinear motion, whereas it is rotating itself, going around the some particular object. So hence we can think that it's a rotational motion also. So like that you collect, and for 4-5 examples where is where the rotation and one more is movement of itself, and periodic motion and rectilinear motion both may takes place. Okay, so with these many measurement activities, you can even discuss some kinds of different giving the examples for motion and measurement. For example, motion of both, it should be the combination of rectilinear motion, sorry, not rectilinear motion, periodic motion as well as circular motion both should be there. Such example you have to find out. Okay, so even find out these types of motion for the change in the objects, position of the object, so with reference to time. So dear students, I hope you understood this concept. So let me stop here. So last part, only few part is left, that let me explain in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.